Hey guys, and welcome to another video. If you didn't know, in this series we basically look at a random football team, could be in the Premier League, could be in La Liga or another league, and we look at their possible transfer targets, their main weakness and their potential lineup for next season. So today we're looking at West Ham, obviously play in the BPL under manager Sam Allardyce, and for me their main weakness is defence. Now a lot of people might argue with that. I might say that's the best area and their attack is where they need to strengthen, but to be honest I think the defence needs improving. Of course they've got a lot of experience with the likes of Winston, Reed and Collins, but they are ageing and they do make a few mistakes, so reinforcements are needed. They finished 13th last season in the Premier League. Not bad for them, but I think they could improve next season with the right transfers. So here's some of the transfers I believe that they could make. I've chosen 3 and there's another one that's a possible option. Top left, starting with Micah Richards of Manchester City. Now he's obviously had an injury hit career unfortunately and not been able to play much because of that. Very fast though, very strong player, playing at right back. He is a good player, but as I said, he doesn't really get the chance to prove it because of his injuries. Probability of happening 30%. I can see him leaving Manchester City. I'm not sure he'll go to West Ham, we'll see how it goes, but he would be a great transfer for the team. Player rating 7 out of 10. Main strength, I would go for a aerial duels. Moving on to bottom left, Gareth Barry. Of course now a free agent after his contract at Manchester City ran up. Probability of going to West Ham 50%. I can see that being quite high. Very good player, very experienced, 33. He sits just behind the midfield in front of the defence, making good tackles and important passes. I gave him a player rating of 6.5, maybe that was slightly harsh. Main strength I went for passing. Then we're going to top right, which is Pablo Armero. Of course he was at West Ham last season on loan. Didn't have the best season, I'm not going to lie, but has looked very good for Colombia in the World Cup, so could move back, although that isn't likely. So he could go to a club like Southampton or Arsenal. Probability 10%. As I said, he could move again, but I don't think it'll be to West Ham. Player rated 6.5, main strength, work rate works very hard. And then finally, Leeds United player Ross McCormack. Plays in midfield, very well, he can play up front as well. Very good finisher of the ball. Leeds obviously want to hold on to him, but he would be a great signing for quite a lot of Premier League teams. Leeds, if they did sell them, it would cost a lot, probably about 15 million. So I'm not sure West Ham will pay for that, maybe a bit less. Player rated 7 out of 10, main strength, finishing. Moving on, this is their possible lineup for the 2014/15 season. Starting in goal, obviously Adrian ahead of Jääskeläinen. Adrian, very good keeper, younger than Jääskeläinen, so not as experienced, but he needs to start somewhere, so I think he'll start next season. Then we've got the experienced duo in the centre-back area of Tompkins and Reed, Winston Reed. Winston Reed was fantastic last season, and I think he'll replicate that next season. Then at left back we've got Pablo Armero, and at right back Richards. Two very fast, strong players who are going to get up and support the attack, hopefully. Then in the two kind of CM roles and CDM roles, obviously Barry will play a bit further back than Noble. We've got Barry and Noble. Barry, as I said, very good defensively, but also can make good passes. Noble much the same. He's more of an attacking player though, and will help Nolan and Carroll in particular in the attacks. And then of course Nolan just in front of those two. Very good player, very experienced. Used to be at Newcastle United, but moved on. Obviously got the famous chicken celebration. Very good finisher of the ball and passer, but obviously not the fastest. And then the front three of Diame, Carroll and Downing. Now of course West Ham have just purchased Mauro Zarate, but I can't see him starting. Well, I couldn't make a team with him starting. This is the team I believe is the best team to start next season, because basically Downing and Diame can go down the wings and cross it in to the very tall Andy Carroll, and he can hopefully score a lot of goals after he's had a few injuries in the last few years. Average age of the team is 27. Looks a fairly strong team. As I said, Zarate will probably go in there somewhere, but I'm not sure where yet. So hopefully you've enjoyed that video, guys. Tell me what you think of that team, and if you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe at the top there. Just click that button where my mouse is at the minute. If you want to see more of these videos, click this summer transfer targets link, which will take you to a playlist of lots of teams and their transfer targets and potential lineup. And then I've selected 5 here. You can just click Manchester United, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Arsenal, Southampton. Click any of them and you can go to that video. And then finally at the bottom, click this to go to my channel. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you have, and like if you enjoyed. Leave some feedback. That's the best bit in my eyes, and goodbye.